To build a rideable Vasa, we need some plans. I got these from the museum itself, and they describe the shape of the hull, but not how to actually build it. To build it, we're gonna need a model for the frames. A proper tool would be CAD. But I don't understand CAD, and it doesn't like me either. So we're using Blender. With the plans properly arranged, we trace out all the stations. These are stations and not frames. The plans are slightly tilted, because that's the way the ship is mounted in the museum. This means we can't use the stations directly, because these stations are not perpendicular to the keel. And starting with weird angles seems like a recipe for disaster later on, so let's not do that. Arrange them along the length of the hull. And proceed with the aft stations. And arrange these as well. With the waterlines added, we get this grid shape. We want to loft the surface from this, but yeah, this is why you use CAD. It's like one of these balloon animals. So we turn to another wrong tool. And a language I barely know how to use. And I wrote this. There's already errors. Seems we need add-ons. This one has the right logo. This one is popular. And it has lots of documentation. This one is suspicious. You don't say. Going with this one. Yeah, he seems cool. And as expected, this script didn't work. And now there's red text. That's never a good sign. So let's reduce the code to isolate the issue. This is some pro debugging here. Yeah. Let's ask for help. Vibe coding is all the rage. It helped, so let's ask for more. Progress is being made, in a way. And we find an intersection. This is promising. They're a bit off. Let's ask it for more. Let's have it find all of them. We found most of the intersections. Some of them are missing. The bottom is missing almost all of them for some reason. I think we should be able to generate a surface. And at this point I've stopped reading the code. It's obviously better than me. Seems like we got most of it. There are some holes. And in the middle there's some jank. And the stern is missing. And obviously the bottom's missing too. Please fix it for me. Well, it fixed some of them, and it generated new errors instead. But asking it again, and it fixed all of them. Well, almost. Let's make it smooth. There we go. It's smooth, or as the boat builders say, fair. These lines are wonky. Looking good. And shiny. There's no obvious defects in here. Let's go with this. This is good enough. Yeah, I feel you. And we managed to add in the rest of it. There are some holes. Let's ignore those, it'll be fine. The back seems to be missing, we'll add that later. And we made it solid. Now we just need to add in the parts where we didn't have proper references, like the, well, railings, I guess. The parts that keep you inside of the boat anyway. Well, manually. Vertex by vertex. Modeling like it's the 90s. There are better ways to do this, but I don't know how, and at this point I just want to be done. Doing it this way gives me an illusion of control, but a very real sense of wasting time. These bits are a bit more difficult. Mainly because I didn't make the 3D model properly. This one's wonkier than the rest. Yeah, this will be fine. Continuing on with the stern. It has a rather complex shape, so there's a lot of moving about. Yep, this is the actual speed I'm working at. I'm feeling pretty dumb, and I apologize to anyone who actually knows how to use Blender who is watching this. I'm not bothering with this bit. Planking will solve it. And we've got some overlaps, and there are still some holes, but I think this will do for making frames, so we're adding the masts. And this is the main mast, and the bowsprit, and the mizzenmast. To my mind, this looks like the ugliest ocean liner ever with the little funnel sticking out. And it's janky on the inside. It's also a little bumpy on the underside. And I've added the keel as well. And the bow. And the stern. I emailed the Vasa Museum and they kindly sent me their 3D scan of the ship. So we're going to use that to verify. It's in the wrong direction though. And it's also slightly janky, just like mine. But if we arrange it properly, we should be able to spot the differences and where we might have gone wrong. And it's actually not that bad. We can see that we match the hull fairly similarly. On the port side it's a bit different because the original ship is crooked. It's built crooked. But in the wireframe you can see that we are indeed quite close. It's important to remember that any Vasa ship is always an interpretation. And the builders in the 17th century didn't use any plans, they relied on experience and craftsmanship. I have plans, but no real experience, so I think we're about equal. Yeah, good enough for me. Let's add some gun ports. Because we don't want to place our frames where the gun ports should go. That would be bad. The Vasa have 64 gun ports. Yeah, they are a bit long. Aggressive. Like a hedgehog. Less aggressive ports are in order. And we need to rotate them to match the curvature of the hull. And we need the stern gun ports. And we forgot about the decks. We need these to cut out the deck shape from the solid shape of the 3D model. The extrusion is magical. My favorite tool. And we're gonna cut the deck shapes out of the model now. Yeah, it's kinda working. Eventually we make it to work a bit more than kinda. And we end up with this. This looks good enough for making frames from. And more importantly, we're getting the right shape of the Vasa. She's pretty fat. Next time we'll try to turn this into paper templates.